Hello and welcome to Hunter Killer 1440's How to Fix Ghostbusters 2016. I'm your host Chris Garner from the YouTube channel CinemaSavvy with our first ever collaboration video. We're really excited to be a part of this project, and if you've watched my review or any of my reactions on CinemaSavvy before, you know I had a lot of problems with 2016's reboot of Ghostbusters. Hunter Killer 1440 very kindly reached out to me with a script of his own personal alterations and changes on how to fix Ghostbusters and asked if I could provide the narration, so thank you very much for the opportunity, and with all that said, let's get on with the video. In this version, the film is self-aware that it is a remake or soft reboot, similar in style to 21 Jump Street, and often comparing itself to the original, saying how much better the original is and always will be, for example. The film also draws reference to and makes fun of product placement. In terms of our characters, Melissa McCarthy is a tenured parapsychological professor and head of her department. She's outspoken and at first seemingly an ultra believer in ghosts and able to explain supernatural phenomena in the most rational of terms. Although she has gained a following in the paranormal community, we later discover that her belief in the supernatural is a complete and utter ruse. After acquiring a double doctorate in parapsychology and physics, she chose to focus on her studies in parapsychology, believing it to be an easier path and much easier to conjure up bogus theories that can rarely be disproven, while physics needs concrete mathematical evidence rather than blind faith. One day, her seminar is debunked when the person starring in one of her videos on demonic possession claims he's only an actor. The video went viral and shocked the entire parapsychological community at how incompetent she is at her field, unable to tell the difference between an actual demonic possession and a faked one. Her department is already on thin ice, with students dropping out of school to pursue wild goose chase endeavours on ghost hunting, becoming amateur psychics and exorcists, which results in the university deciding to fire Melissa McCarthy. Now out of a job along with her best friend Kristen Wiig, they are aided by a fellow professor of another department, played by Kate McKinnon. Kristen Wiig is another parapsychology professor, best friend and vice chairwoman to Melissa McCarthy, and she believes in ghosts. Kristen writes books based on her interviews with people who had paranormal experiences and raised money to help promote mental illness awareness. Ironically, she believes those people with ghost encounters are psychologically disturbed. She is originally a psychology PhD candidate but decides to use parapsychology to promote mental awareness. Kate McKinnon is the chick with an attitude, very sassy, similar to Janine Melnitz's character from the original Ghostbusters. She has a PhD degree in nuclear physics and a master's in history. She's glad that she was sacked as she gave the university dean a lot of attitude as she was tricked into her contract, which only allowed her to teach and not be able to pursue her own research or findings. After failing numerous job interviews for either being too overqualified or too underqualified, Melissa McCarthy gets an idea to expose the Ghost Hunters television show as frauds after realising it is the makers of that show who tipped the university off to her using an actor in her viral video during her seminar. The two are rivals at the paranormal community, with ghost hunters resembling Paranormal Challenge and Ghost Adventures. She ultimately wants vengeance and to get her fame back. After spying on the ghost hunters, they bump into one of the crew members, played by Leslie Jones, the character with which the audience can relate to. She's a huge fan and believer of the original Ghostbusters, that's why she wants to be a ghost hunter herself. In the movie, the original team of Ghostbusters from the first two movies exists and is in continuity. Leslie Jones is very disappointed after working at the fake and scripted paranormal show. She is street smart and partially psychic and can feel the presence of ghosts. In the beginning though, she's quite unsure of herself, as she has been bullied and teased as Ghost Girl due to her small traces of supernatural powers. She tells the group that ghosts do exist and takes them to a haunted library to prove it to them, which parallels the 1984 Ghostbusters opening library scene. No ghosts are actually seen until the finale of the movie, however, and we merely see objects levitating and moving around the room without a single ghost materialise until the ending of the film. The four then decide to record the ghostly activity with a camcorder, which is obviously a pastiche and satire on the whole found footage genre. Thanks to the internet, they are mocked as frauds, with people complaining about the camera quality and lack of overall proof. Annoyed and humiliated, the team decide to find Ghostbusters to help them catch a ghost to prove they are telling the truth. When they arrive at the Ghostbusters headquarters, however, it's not what it used to be. The only worker there is Chris Hemsworth, who is the caretaker of the empty Ghostbusters headquarters. The headquarters has been transformed into a Ghostbusters museum with a number of interesting items on display from the first two movies, which also provides a poignant callback to Harold Ramis. Chris Hemsworth has a genius-level intellect and many doctorates, but was fired from every single job after being socially blind, insulting bosses, funders and customers alike. Not even low-paid jobs are willing to hire him. The only place willing to hire him are the founders of the Ghostbusters, who want him to be the caretaker of the place due to the lack of people. He's consistently optimistically happy. Chris Hemsworth explains that most of the phone calls they've been getting were prank calls, which led to a lot of resources wasted to the point the founders think it was better to invest their money in turning the headquarters into a museum. Originally, the Ghostbusters were a franchise of paranormal pest control enforcers, but the newly hired Busters' pays were cut so low everyone except him and quit. The only reason the headquarters are still around is because of mysterious donations. After realising ghosts are real, Melissa McCarthy has the intention of releasing a ghost to catch it on tape to get all the fame and glory, but most of the ghosts that were caught by the original Ghostbusters have been taken by them, and not even Chris Hemsworth knows where they are or how to contact them. At first, Chris Hemsworth did not even consider giving them the interview to be new Ghostbusters, because he had only interviewed groups that always had one loudmouth womanizer, a man-child, the brains, and the minority. He's not used to having a different group with a loudmouth money lover, the sass, the mother figure, and the psychic, poking at cliched character tropes. But when the paranormal detector in his office points the paranormal activity level is dangerously high, he changes his mind and sets them for an interview and hires them on the spot. Leslie Jones reluctantly joins because she doesn't want to sabotage the name of Ghostbusters, as she idolises the original members and doesn't think they are worthy to carry on the mantle. Chris Hemsworth tells them that all the equipment on display are decommissioned antiques and that the batteries have been taken out to power something else. He builds all the tech from scratch, and rather than proton packs they decide to use anti-electron packs instead, a subtle joke of saying that genders were swapped in this movie, and so are the subatomic particles. This time the Ghostbusters headquarters actually have a license in handling nuclear wastes, and have license to use nuclear accelerators thanks to a number of Chris Hemsworth's professional certificates. Melissa McCarthy works on the equipment diagrams and equations alongside with Kate McKinnon and Chris Hemsworth. Even though he has an IQ equivalent to a supercomputer, Chris Hemsworth's memory is terrible. After conjuring a theory and mechanics right off the spot, he completely forgets them, and the two professors have to write them down quickly and understand it before Chris Hemsworth forgets his ideas. Kristen Wiig and Leslie Jones work on purchasing the precious materials. Chris Hemsworth also acts as the errand boy, buying, carrying the materials and constructing the machines from scratch. They put up extremely cheesy commercials on the internet to get hired after enough preparations, a nod to the first Ghostbusters movie and how modern advertisements have moved platforms. During a first test of the equipment on a small-scale ghost, rather than catching one, they actually end up teleporting it. Chris Hemsworth doesn't go along with the team to bust ghosts and merely acts as a technician since the others are nearly computer illiterate. He provides up-to-the-minute intel and information as well as coordination and organisation. He tells the Ghostbusters to not cross the streams because those anti-electrons going on in different paths can split up reality itself. After that, a montage begins of the Ghostbusters attempting to catch ghosts, but continue to inadvertently teleport the ghosts. Every time they fail to catch a ghost, there is a montage of the team building better equipment and training even harder. Although they are not physically catching the ghosts, they are still paid for their efforts as the ghosts are removed from the situation, although the inability to attain physical proof of a ghost plagues on the team's mind. Every time they teleport a ghost, they have a glimpse of a demon trying to get into Earth's realm, but continue to take every job that is given to them in order to bring in money. When they shoot their weapons at the ghost, the shadows and the body of the ghost partially materialise, however we don't see a fully realised ghost until the finale still. They use detectors to know where the ghosts are and sometimes rely on Leslie Jones's psychic ability. Melissa McCarthy dreams of becoming rich and famous through being the first real paranormal investigator to prove that ghost hunters are frauds and erase the defamation caused by them. The ambition to push the parapsychology field forward with concrete science is crushed for Kate McKinnon. Leslie Jones's failure to catch any ghosts has made her feel ashamed of donning the Ghostbusters title, and the four decided it is best to disband despite Chris Hemsworth's protests. While each of the team members go their separate ways, each end up meeting each of the original Ghostbusters counterpart. Bill Murray tells Melissa McCarthy that he and the original team are trying to create a portal to send restless spirits to the netherworld, since a huge number of noisy ghosts are unwilling or unable to leave Earth's dimension. It is here that the mystery donations are actually revealed to be from the New York City government. The government is funding them but are keeping the Ghostbusters in a low profile to prevent paranoia. The government is also hoping to stop events such as the ones from Ghostbusters 1 and 2 from ever happening again, and the original team are back because they detected that the paranormal activity is at its peak in New York City, and decide to investigate. Through a further pep talk from the predecessors, the new team of Ghostbusters find the inspiration to regroup and work together. One notable scene is Ernie Hudson showing Leslie Jones a bunch of people on Twitter thanking the new Ghostbusters for helping them. The original team decide to focus on flushing away the ghosts into the other realm once and for all, since they were all once human and they feel cruel to imprison them. Unfortunately, the portal they've built is incomplete as the current technology does not live up to their standard. Through further investigation, the Ghostbusters find that they've been accidentally freeing ghosts back into the streets of New York instead of sending them to another realm as they initially thought they were. The original Ghostbusters held the ghost containment unit in another facility. The ghost containment unit's batteries are running low because the more ghosts it contains, the more energy it takes to contain them. If the containment unit no longer holds, all the captured ghosts, good and bad, will be set free. Kate McKinnon looks at the old team's research and realises why so many ghosts are unable to cross into the netherworld. It is explained due to modern day's increase of radio and electromagnetic disturbances such as cell phones and laptops that electronic fields are trapping them in. Although the electromagnetic field turns the ghosts invisible, it also materialises them from vapour to solid form, and this turns them malevolent and aggressive due to the inability to move to their designated dimension. Kate McKinnon realises that their anti-electron packs actually acted as a temporary electromagnetic interference, which allows the ghost to transfer to the netherworld rather than containing it. The new team's technology actually works the way the original team want their portal to. The two teams unite and are able to shut down most of the world's electromagnetic equipment after creating a large surge of electron annihilation in the Earth's atmosphere. However, before they could open the containment unit to send the ghosts away, the demon that desperately wants to enter Earth's realm arrives. It is once again Gozer. The large surge of electron annihilation punched a hole through a wall between a number of parallel dimensions, merging them all into one. Thus, Gozer, rather than needing a gatekeeper and a keymaster this time, can directly step into the Earth's dimension. Gozer taunts the original team about their age and how they cannot possibly hope to overthrow Gozer once more. Bill Murray laughs and says that the beauty of the human race is its ability to be able to pass down knowledge and powers to each generation, which is where the new team of Ghostbusters steps in and engages Gozer. The crew blasts their anti-electron packs at Gozer, who is exceptionally weakened due to modern-day Earth's polluted atmosphere. Desperate to survive, Gozer possesses Chris Hemsworth, and after a short fight, the team accidentally knocks Chris Hemsworth into the Ghost Containment Unit's protection grid, which releases all of the ghosts that were released onto the streets of New York. After an acid-tripping fight against the violent ghouls and some classic favourites from the original movies and cartoons such as Slimer, the team of Ghostbusters are once again confronted by a possessed Chris Hemsworth. Gozer releases Hemsworth and tells the team they must choose the form of Earth's destruction, asking if they want Gozer to look like Zeus, Odin or Osiris. Kristen Wiig proclaims she is an atheist. Melissa McCarthy also chimes in with a casual mention to her belief in Pastafarianism, a parody religion. To the duo's surprise, Gozer morphs into the Flying Spaghetti Monster. This is like a social commentary. In the past, Ghostbusters have used both consumerist and patriotic icons in the finale of their movies, with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and the Statue of Liberty respectively. Now, in an increasingly secular world, the atheist symbol of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is used. As the Flying Spaghetti Monster ravages New York, the Ghostbusters are told to cross the streams by Chris Hemsworth, a nod to Harold Ramis's line from the first film. Since reality is shattering with the electron annihilation, the crossing of the streams actually rebuilds the wall between realities, sending everything back to where it came from. It sucks the giant flying spaghetti monster and all the ghosts into the netherworld. Bill Murray jeers at Gozer as it is about to be sucked into the netherworld, but Gozer tries to drag Bill Murray into the portal along with it. However, Melissa McCarthy jumps in the way and is so dragged into hell instead. With the rest of the team's help, Bill Murray then leaps into the portal and rescues her. With the defeat of Gozer, this finally allows the ghosts to migrate to the netherworld, which is caught on tape and shown on the news. Melissa McCarthy has now had her taste in the spotlight and has proven herself as not being a fraud. Kristen Wiig, who was once the pacifist mother-like figure, has become a fierce warrior fighter figure. Kate McKinnon has learnt to know when to act the fool and when to step up to save the people of New York. And Leslie Jones has progressed from a person who is unsure of herself bearing the Ghostbusters title to a confident and stronger character who accepts her new role. The original Ghostbusters congratulate the new team and tell them that they are proud to have them carry on the legacy. The mayor's office agrees to secretly fund the Ghostbusters research while continuing to publicly denounce them as frauds. Despite the mayoral smear campaign, New York lights up with thanks and tributes to the Ghostbusters. We hit the credits and the classic Ghostbusters main theme begins. The end. Thank you for watching. Once again, a huge thank you to HunterKiller1440 for giving me this opportunity to provide my voice for his thoughts on how to fix Ghostbusters. This project has been in the works for quite a while, it's just been finding the time to get it out there, and he has actually given me another script for a future video, which I would very much like to provide my voice for. If you'd like to see more of my content on my own channel, you can check it out at CinemaSavvy. That's youtube.com/CinemaSavvy, where we do movie reviews, I do trailer reaction videos, we have our own original shows too, such as Battle of the Brackets, which is a great show. So please head on over to that channel and check us out. Hit that subscribe button because we'd love to see as many of you over there as possible. And make sure you subscribe to Hunter Killer too. Not only does he have videos on how to change films with some great ideas for alterations and tweaks, he has a whole range of other videos as well. Lots of content on his channel, so please hit that subscribe button. So yeah, that'll do it for me on this video, and I look forward to being a part of the next one. So until then, thanks for watching.